Next year will mark 20 years since the worst tornado disaster in Central Texas history. It was a living nightmare, the worst possible tornado, an F5, killing more than 24 men, women, and children in the Williamson County town of Jarrell. That storm changed our understanding of a tornado's destructive force.
But that change did not actually begin in Jarrell. It started 27 years earlier in Lubbock, where I traveled to visit the National Wind Institute and see the research that could help you survive the next storm. The old-timers at Lubbock's Pancake House all have a story to tell over a countertop.
In Lubbock County.
The only remaining fixture from the original cafe.
It was on about dark. It just started a tornado and just started wiping out everything.
The building blew away May 11th, 1970.
A lot of boom, boom, boom. Well, after it looked like a bomb went off.
Along with it, 1,000 other homes and businesses, 10,000 cars and trucks, and 26 lives.
And I said, Daddy, we got to get out. We got to turn around.
You can see multiple tornadoes.
Yeah. And Daddy, we got to get out. And he said, Jimbo, we got to go save Mama and the girls.
A rare F5 tornado. Its unfortunate path of destruction up to 2 miles wide through the heart of the city.
But in the backyard, the trees was just swapping over and over like that.
Winds more than 260 miles per hour. Powerful enough to twist a high-rise downtown building. Evidence of the repair still visible today.
There was always a rumor that a tornado never would hit Lubbock. Did you ever hear that?
Yes, I believe that.
But we don't believe it now.
I don't believe it now.
The very next day, research began at what is now known as the National Wind Institute. Research that's saving lives.
3, 2, 1. That's a EF5 tornado.
Professor Larry Tanner manages the Institute's Debris Impact Facility. Housed at Texas Tech University, it is the world's leading wind damage research program.
The research project fell out of the sky, and so they went to work trying to investigate the storm and rebuild our city.
Quickly exposed the need to study how the damage, injuries, and deaths were caused and what could prevent them.
But then they realized that's only, half of the equation. The other half of the equation is how are we going to resist all this debris that impales all of our structures. It's a pneumatic cannon, I kind of affectionately call a potato gun on steroids. If that had been your house wall, even with a brick veneer on it, it'd gone through that wall. It would have gone through probably the wall across the room from it and maybe another wall. So it's quite lethal.
The testing pioneered the development of above-ground shelters as researchers learned what materials could hold up under the onslaught of flying debris. But then came Jarrell, eventually becoming a full F5 monster, carving out a 7.6-mile path just northwest of the town of Jarrell. By the time it barreled through the Double Creek Estate subdivision, it was already 3/4 of a mile wide. Around 40 structures destroyed, 27 deaths, including all 5 members of one family here and several other families here on Double Creek Drive. Only 3 people made it out alive, all here on the far edge of the storm, including a 13-year-old boy hiding under a bed with his grandmother and brother, both of whom died. Our KXAN crews witnessed the tornado that fateful day as I continued tracking the storm from our weather center. You want to get away from the debris, get as low as you can in the house, and seek shelter. Again, a tornado warning in effect for northern Williamson County. Anyone in the path of this thunderstorm, I would be particularly on the lookout for the possibility of tornadoes. May 27, 1997. Some experts say it's the most incredible tornado damage ever inflicted. Homes swept clean from their foundations. Even plumbing ripped from the bare concrete slabs. Cars and trucks ground into small pieces. This is our drone's view of the bizarre path of the storm that day. An almost unheard of track for an F5 tornado, moving to the southwest and wiping this subdivision behind me off the map. Now, 19 years later, homes rebuilt, a memorial park, and most importantly for the people that live here, a community storm shelter. After Gerald, a renewed national interest in shelters and focus on the Wind Institute's work at Texas Tech. It reinvigorated their research.
That pretty well set us in motion, and been saving lives ever since.
And making surprising discoveries about safe rooms. Conventional wisdom has been, in a tornado like Gerald or Lubbock, you can only survive underground. Not so, say scientists here.
They've been told for years and years that, well, this is an EF5. If you can't get below ground, you can't be safe, and that's just not true.
Even in the worst possible tornado like Gerald?
Without question. I spent many, many years looking at shelters in damaged zones, and I have not seen a failed shelter above ground or below ground.
After decades of research, the evidence is clear. Tested, certified shelters above or below ground are as good as it gets. And the research has expanded. A tornado vortex simulator, creating up to EF3 tornadoes to better understand how tornadoes interact with and damage structures. Wind tunnels, Doppler radars on wheels, and mobile weather stations, all part of the Institute.
Fascinates you that you did see it and all that, but it's you don't want to go back.
Yeah.
You know.
We don't want to do it again.
Back at the Pancake House, they know about the life-saving research in their own backyard and are proud of it, despite the tragedy that created it. The painful memories are fresh, but their spirit strong.